Welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on a Wednesday. Let's continue our trip up to the nation's capital in particular, because speak with the Tuggeranong Netball Association, who won the 17s state league competition a couple of weeks ago. And of course, we got four very special guests joining us right now to tell us a bit about it. Thanks all four for joining us.
Thank
you
you
for having us.
us.
No worries. Well, I'll get each of you to introduce yourselves. And for the players in particular, what position you played on grand final day?
My name's Ashley and I played centre.
I'll go next. I'm Indy and I played wing defence and centre.
My name's Phoebe and I played goal defence.
And I'm Jack, and I'm the assistant coach for the under 17s Tuggeranong side.
Tell us a bit about the season. Anyone can answer this?
Oh, look, I'll go first before the girls sort of jump in. I think from a, I guess, overall season's perspective, I have probably never been on such a journey. I think the season had absolutely everything. We had those real high highs and we had some lows. And the best thing, I guess, about that was we did it all, I guess, together. Throughout everything. I think one thing that I guess really sort of solidified us as a group was in the school holidays just before finals. We had a camp together that was just at Tuggeranong in Canberra. And the girls actually really got to, I guess, bond with each other and understand each other, connecting on and off the court. And I think that was, I guess, a really, really big part of our success. I think this year, especially speaking for Phoebe and Ash, it's both our obviously second years in this. I think like this one meant so much more.
I'll go because this was my first year of state league. Coming from reps under 15s, it was definitely a lot different. Higher expectations. Different flow, and you were building each week to something instead of over a whole season having your one chance for the medal. But definitely the older girls, especially the two with us today, definitely led some of our younger team, because we did have a younger team, and helped them kind of grasp what was happening. And I think that really helped bring us together and pull off the amazing thing that happened. But yeah, no, and especially feel like our coaches, again, stating we had a very young team helping us learn and improve that the whole season, I think was really good.
We had a very young team this year. We had only 3 people from last year still in the team, me, Phoebe, and another one of our teammates, Kira. We were all there last year, so we went back to back. And it was a massive experience. And like our team this year, I'm so proud of them, because we had so many obstacles this year, from injuries to losing games and everything like that. So like it was a struggle, and we had an extra 5 rounds this season. So like changing to having an extra long season, I think all of us really adapted to that really well.
Okay, so Phoebe and Ash, considering this is your second one that you've won back to back in the 17s. Okay, I know this is going to be a tough question I'm going to ask, but I'm going to ask it now, which is, which of the premierships, the back-to-back premierships, means just a little bit more than the others?
Remember, I'm on this call as well.
I think they meant like different stuff. Like the first one is like our first ever win, and it was like so important to us because we definitely did not expect to win last year. But also this year, I feel like, I don't know, going back to back meant so much more.
Yeah, I agree. Like they were very different from each other. Like last year, we were the underdogs. We went from 5th and we ended up 1st. And I think it was just a massive shock to us, because not only did we not believe we could win, no one else really did either. So I think we were all just really happy that we did. Whereas this year, I think it was just a surreal feeling to be that team that did go back to back. So I think you can't really compare the wins to each other because they're both just completely different feelings from each other, but they're both great. So
yeah. I'd agree. I think they Phoebe sort of nailed that there. Same with Ash. Like it meant different things. I just feel like Carly and I think really just I think this year we sort of really grinded and really worked hard at, I guess, establishing some structures and processes that was going to fit this team a lot more. And I think when it came to those last, I guess those 3 games, really, the elimination final and then the qualifying, like the sudden death prelim and then the grand final, it was all just really close. Like either one of them could have gone either way. And I guess that fight mentality, I guess, just meant that little bit extra to actually walk away with the success. Like I think the girls and us as a coaching staff will get a lot out of that.
Was there any point in the grand final that you felt comfortable enough to enjoy the moment? I'm pretty sure I asked Ash this same question last year.
Yeah, you did. Like comparing the 2 grand finals last year, I think we had quite a bit, not a massive gap in the score, but it was more of a comfortable gap. Whereas the grand final this year, we were always neck to neck. Like they were up by 8 at one point, and I feel like we had all kind of dropped our heads going, oh, okay, like here we go. But like no, like this, everyone was up out of their seats. Like the crowd was all like, they were loud because it was just such a competitive game, and it was one of those games you couldn't tell who would win.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely to add to that, it's Tuggeranong versus Canberra, which has always been a big rivalry between all the clubs. And Ash is definitely right. It was so loud you couldn't hear your teammates. So if we went back and watched the video, there's a lot of hand signals between players to get messages across. And I think the last 3 minutes was just the ball continuing to be thrown out of court, back in, and the other team would throw it out. So the last 3 minutes, there was 1 or 2 goals in it, and it was just ball going out and you were trying to hold it, which was definitely a nerve-wracking thing, especially being a part of the game. You're like, we need to score, but then we've got to defend it again. And we just kept going back and forth.
Not really. It was a very close game. Never comfortable the entire game, even going into the 4th quarter.
I'll echo those statements. I think every single game I think we played this year was you never know, you never knew what you were going to get. They could be a team that would absolutely blow teams out of the park, or would just grind it for a 1 or 2 goal victory. And I think that was another really highlight of the season is we could put anyone into any position at any given time against different combinations of different teams, and the girls would perform. So, but I know Carly, myself, Sophie, and Indy's mum Emma as our manager, we weren't doing very well at different points in terms of the anxiety on the sideline. I think even Soph forgot to take stats in the last quarter. She was sort of on edge about how the game was sort of going. So yeah.
Sorry, Jack. I need to ask you about that last bit you just said.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming the stats weren't accurate. Were accurate up to the 3rd quarter, and then it went out the door in the last quarter. I'm assuming by the sounds of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think, Soph was such a great addition this year. Soph's one of our 19s players last year, and she really helped the girls in terms of just providing a bit more of a player perspective from a coach. But definitely reminded me of when I was, sort of coming up coaching as well. You get so involved in the game that you forget to do your particular job or role. And it was a good little laugh after it with Soph. So, yeah.
Who got to hold the cup first?
I did.
Ashley did.
I did. Me and Carly, we got to hold the cup first.
Okay. Now, Ash, I need to ask you this. How good was it to hold the cup before your teammate swarmed onto you?
Oh, it was beautiful. It was great. I loved it.
Were you worried that you were going to drop the cup, or were you worried that you're going to get crushed by your teammates?
No, I wasn't. Because when I got the cup, all of them were ready for the photos, like for Netball ACD to take the photo for us. So they were all to the side while Carly and I were holding the cup. So no, I wasn't worried that they were going to crush me.
Okay, so I'm going to ask the four of you this question. Did you get a chance to kiss on the cup? And I'm pretty sure I asked this same question last year as well.
Yeah.
Ash remembers all my questions here.
I'll go first. I did not, but there was many photos and my sister was there. So we definitely had our photo shoots. My mother is big into her photos. So that was important. And I think the first photo I actually got with it was me and Ashley holding it above our heads with all the crowd, all our green and blue and white in the background, which was really good. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm the same, Cindy. I didn't kiss the cup, unfortunately. If I could go back now, but no, I didn't. I think everyone was so in the moment that no one really thought about kissing it. It was very much like, can I have this? Can I have the trophy? Can I have it? It was very much pass the parcel with the baby.
I'm the same as Indy. I didn't kiss the cup, but there was definitely a lot of photos taken with it with different people. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it was one of those ones. I think that was a bit of a difference from, I guess, this season to last season. There wasn't a lot of time after it to really sort of be together and sort of enjoy the win for what it was, being on a Wednesday evening. It was sort of like, just clear the bench and, sort of move. I guess we sort of didn't all get to sort of do that. But I think from Carly and I's perspective, it was good to sort of stand back and watch everyone enjoy that as well. And I guess soak in their hard work throughout 2024.
The medals as well. Did you get a chance? How long did you wear your medals around your nets for, and did any of you sleep with it?
I think Phoebe should probably go first. I think hers was like twice the weight because MVP Phoebe wearing the two medals. So
I definitely wore it like a long time. Didn't sleep with it, but definitely had to show the siblings, show off the gold that we got.
Yeah, when I got my medal, I didn't take it off for a while. I'm like Phoebe. I didn't sleep in it, but definitely didn't take it off till I rubbed it in my sibling's face a little bit.
I didn't sleep with it. I'm the same with everybody else. But Gibson gave us sticky notes before each game when he came back from his trip. And once I got home, I actually have like a spare wall and I put all my sticky notes and my medal hanging above them and all the posters that friends and family made. Shout out to Sophie, who made all our girls a poster, which was really nice. And so now I still have it up now. I don't think I'll ever take it down. I've got like a little memorabilia, poster, medal, and all Gibbo's motivational things to do. Just all those sticky notes sticking up on my wall. So yeah.
Did any get a chance to bite on your medal? And was it pure gold on the day?
I definitely took a bite out of it, 100%. Willow brought hers along from hers, and we had a little bit of a both winners.
Yeah. So at the end, me, Carly, Gibson, Phoebe, and Kira, who can't be here with us today, but we were all from last year's grand final team. So we, as we like to call ourselves, the OGs, we were together, and the three other girls were biting our medals and took a photo with it. So that was really sweet.
Not really. Ash told the story. We had a few photos.
Now, Phoebe, you won 2 medals. Won the Premiership and won the MVP. Did it get annoying after a while with all the clinging of the 2 medals?
don't think I'll ever get annoyed of that. No? Adding last year's one on top.
Yeah. They call it the most valuable Phoebe as well.
Oh, that is brilliant.
You can use that one if you want.
I will now. So thanks, Jack, for that. I'll use it on the I might use it on the next question actually. So most valuable Phoebe. Were you surprised that you got the medal? Even though I actually watched the game and I think you definitely deserved it. Were you surprised that you got the medal? And how do you think you really played on the day?
I was very surprised I got the medal. Definitely wasn't my best game. I was not confident at all. The last couple of games I'd had a few good games. That one was not my favourite game. But yeah, it was really good. So good turnout.
Yeah, I think look, if I guess I might sort of interject there as well. I don't necessarily think it was like Phoebe learned a lot from that game. And I think for us, when she flipped that switch, that's when we all sort of lifted in that game. I don't think I've ever had quite a honest rapport with a player like I do with Phoebes. And after half time, it got very heated. You probably could see it on the film. There was a really honest conversation going on with Phoebe and I.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of one of those ones where you didn't know whether it was going to go one way or the other. And, to her credit, I think that's why she deserved that award, is the resilience that she showed to be able to, things weren't going our way. And then in that second half to come back and just basically just dominate it was well-deserved in the end there.
I'm going to ask all for you this question. Ash, you don't have to answer it because you answered the same question last year. So I'm going to ask the other three. What does the sport of netball mean to the three of you, and especially being part of the Tuggeranong netball?
Well, I'll start. I've been playing netball since I was very little. My mother definitely got me into that straight away, and her mother did the same. And I've always been at Tuggeranong. I haven't changed. And I think it's just being able to wear the colours representing that community is so important for me now. I've done all the rep sport. I've improved. My first ever 2 coaches came and watched the game. So I think it's just like a symbol of how connected we are, and how I look to my right and to my left. I know every single one there. Whoever you want to talk to, you can talk to everybody. And that you can just connect with everybody. It's just a very nice community to be a part of. And I was raised there, so I guess it's kind of like a second home.
Tuggeranong for me, I don't know how to explain it. The community is just amazing. I just love going there for the social side of things, getting to chat to people, because everyone and everyone's down for a good chat. And I don't know, there's no feeling to describe showing up in in TNA gear, ready to go.
Look, I think for me, the sport of netball is one that I love the competitiveness of it, and I love how within most games there's always, I guess, a story within whether or not it's a rivalry or it's a particular player and things like that as well. And I love that how as you sort of progress, I guess, through the age groups, it starts to get a little bit more strategic, and the coaching starts to get a little bit more, I guess, directed at specific play. And then even looking at the other pathway through to our Canberra Datas and then SSN, it's really clear, the progression of where these girls want to go, if that's where they want to go. I guess to your other part of the question about Tuggeranong, look, it's the best association by far. I think that we've got some really, really important people in leadership positions there, like our technical director, Matt George, our head coach, Kate Durham, and Erica Lockland as well, sort of helping our senior representative program. And that kind of filters all the way through down to our juniors. I think Indy and Phoebe said it so well. It's a home feel, and you can never beat, the team from the south. Deep down south is where it is.
Yeah. Indy, I need to ask you this question because it's your first time in the state league. What have you learnt from Phoebe and Ash?
Oh, that no matter the calls, no matter anything, smile on your face, wave to the umpires, and just keep pushing. I think those two levels, other than our coaches, those three, the older players, absolutely raised us girls. And we definitely were a tight-knit group coming into it because we had quite a similar team, and they just added to it. And I think it was kind of like having three big sisters telling you, oh, this is actually how you do this. And this was our first year with rolling subs. And it was definitely one where we turned to them and was like, what are we doing? Please explain. But yeah, I think they were just awesome having them there to help guide us. And even some of our newer players, obviously you have some of the girls who've been playing for ages like me, Lucille and Carissa. We had a few newbies to the rep side of stuff. So yeah, no, absolutely amazing. Lovely girls and definitely considered big sisters, I think, inside the group.
I'm now going to flip that question to Phoebe and Ash. What have you learned from Indy?
I don't know. Indy's very resilient. So I think it was amazing watching, watching her grow over the season. Amazing. Loved watching it.
She was such an important player for our team this year. She was so resilient, and if we were down, she would always be willing to fight back. She would be the last person to drop her head. So I think it gave all of us, the whole team, that will and fight to keep going. And I don't know about anyone else on the team, but since Indy pushed herself so hard, it made me want to push myself even harder. Yeah, Indy she's a resilient little girl and she did great.
Oh, thanks guys. Love you guys.
Now, obviously, Jack, I need to ask you, I guess, what is unique about these three in particular as coaches? And obviously I'll ask the same question to Carly when I have her on the show a bit later.
Look, I think I came in sort of, I didn't have the opportunity to have the preseason with these girls. But I knew, I guess straight away from those first initial rounds that our leadership group was pretty clear, and Carly had those conversations with me. And I think what was really, I guess, important was having as little or as many people, but the fact that we've got three is a testament to these three girls here. But to buy into the vision that Carly and I wanted to come across this year. And I said at the start of, I guess, our chat that there was a lot that the girls needed to buy into for ultimate success. And these three were a huge, huge component of it. Whether it was, messaging in the group to ensure that, strategic gameplay was being acted on, whether they were doing things at home, within our video sessions, making some contributions to that, and really just leading with not only their actions on the court, but also off the court. And look, I'm so proud of the three of these girls. I think that throughout the season, they all had their own individual challenges and all showed amazing resilience and courage through that. And there's no other three that could have been better suited to that particular role.
All right, I'm going to finish with this last two. Ash, I'm going to ask you this question, considering I think you're the one in the team photo that held the cup in the team photo in the front row. How difficult was it to hold the cup in one hand and do the number and obviously do the number two in the other hand?
Very. It was quite difficult. When the photo was being taken, since it was such a big cup. I had it in one hand, and then I put my hand out to do a peace sign or like a number one, and it got to the point where my hand had veered too much to the side and it got in Indy's way. So I was covering her face. So it been a multitask holding one and then trying to do the number one sign and the going back to back. So yeah, I struggled a bit, but I got through it.
These girls will back me up, but Ash is very modest. Ash was worried about this whole sort of end of presentation and speech thing the whole week, and she was an absolute rock star. Like, it was like she was at her own concert. She knew exactly what to do. She did the cheer. She went through it all. She was, you know, it was her concert.
Yeah, definitely.
It was just running through me. Looking back at it now, a bit cringe, but you know, it's okay.
Yeah, it was main character vibes, I reckon.
Oh, don't say that.
It's like the after show. Yeah. Everyone's kind of settling down. It was the after show to keep the energy up for the 19s final after.
Yeah. Well, I don't think anyone hung around for that after Ash's performance, so I think that was it. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to finish with this last one. It's a lighthearted question as well. Who's the comedian, the best singer, and the best dancer on the team?
Come on, guys.
Ash. Easily
hard.
Ash.
Yeah.
What did you say? Ash. Sorry, so you said comedian,
best singer, best dancer.
Oh,
best dancer's Indy, and the other two Ash. Easily.
Yeah, I'd say Indy and Carissa, I reckon. In terms of dancing, Carissa offers a fair bit in that department, along with Indy. Indy was always like randomly dancing at different points in the season.
Yeah, every single time, like they were or Carly were, but like they were explaining a drill, Indy'd be off in her own little world, doing something with her arms or moving her legs because she does dance. So she'd be just trying to practice her choreography while they're explaining a drill.
In my defense, I always had music in the background. How are you not going to dance when there's music? That's the reason we have it.
Yeah. The speaker was a good inclusion this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, singer, I'd say, look, there's a few that could take that award. Ash was pretty vocal.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think. Probably Jazzy.
Yeah, Jazzy can hit some notes. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Jazzy enjoyed that. Comedian for me could be different points at different, like, you know, look, a lot of different people made me laugh at different points in the season. I come to grow very, I guess, fond of Lily O'Brien's humour throughout the season. I think she just I don't even know if she was trying to be funny, but she was just like, some of the things that she'd say was just really just blunt. And, you know, I really enjoyed that humour. And I enjoyed that she came out of her shell towards the end of the season as well. And that was kind of, really, I guess, a good feeling.
I think the other person we can add to that that were very funny at times, but I don't think they were meant to, was definitely Lizzie. Being one of our quieter players, even like who talked to some people, didn't talk to some people, but by the end, she was just someone that you turn around and was like, we love Lizzie. Lizzie is just going to have a special place in our hearts for sure.
Yeah.
Cracker.
Yeah. Look, as I said to you, I think anyone could take that title. I think there was different points in the season where someone would do something to make us laugh and things like that as well. So, I think that one can be shared, I think.
Well, all for you. Thank you so much for getting up some time to join us. Congratulations on winning the Premiership. It is well deserved. And I know I promised Ash last year I was going to come up this year, and I didn't go up there this year, but I will definitely come up next year, and I will. It's one of my plans to come up to Canberra, so can't wait to come and watch you all in action throughout the 2025 season. Let's hope our youth can make it, hopefully, for most of you, either a three-peat or back-to-back premierships in 2025.
We hope to see you.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. And I think, the dynasty is just beginning.
Yes, correct. And that is the Tuggeranong under-17s, of course, netball team that won the premiership in the state league competition. Of course, obviously, we'll be hoping to make it a three-peat down there at Tuggeranong in the 2025 season. There's more on the Smash Sports Show right after this. Don't go away. Here on the 10th year celebration. Welcome everyone back out here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on a Wednesday. And of course, we just had the under-17 team that went back-to-back in their premiership a couple of weeks ago. Now we turn our attention to Division 1, who I believe have also won back-to-back or three-peat. I've actually kind of lost track of how many they've won in a row, but we've got four very special guests joining us right now to tell us a bit about it. Thanks all four for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No worries. Well, get the four of you to introduce yourselves, and what position did the four of you play on grand final day?
Ooh. I'll go. I'm Carly, and I played centre and wing attack on grand final day.
I'll go. I'm Amber. I played goal attack and wing attack.
I'm Sophia, and I played goal shooter.
I'm Malia, and I played goal defense goalkeeper.
Firstly, tell us a bit about the grand final.
I'll start. It feels like a bit of a blur, and also it feels like a while ago, like what's happened since then. But yeah, I think it was an awesome game for us. We had a really, close start than what we weren't expecting. So we kind of had to, work hard throughout the game. And I think it was like the third quarter we really blew ahead and got a good lead going to the last quarter. So that kind of gave us all a bit of like a moment to relax and I guess enjoy the experience. But yeah, it was a good game.
I think this year was good because we had a bit of a break leading into finals because we kind of did well in finals. We got the week off beforehand, whereas normally we're kind of grinding through those finals. So we got to really iron out things, which was good for us, and lots of team bonding.
So, Carly, obviously I know that you also coached the 17s, just had on the show. And you just mentioned about the start to your grand final in the playing wise, which I think in the 17s was when I spoke to them, you were behind by a fair margin. Was it a bit deja vu?
Yeah, a little bit. Like our Div 1 team played first, so I think like going into the coaching game, it was like let's just like have a good start, and then when the end of the game comes, like you don't have to like I guess have that heart attack as in the final minutes. But yeah, the girls didn't necessarily do that, but it made for an exciting game in the end. But yeah, I like how we did it, that we pushed hard in that third quarter so that it wasn't so close in the last quarter.
Was there any moment in the game for the four of you that you felt comfortable enough knowing that you had the game all wrapped up?
I don't know. I feel like we had the confidence that we had won previously last year, but we were obviously up against a different team. And I think that both Arrowang that we versed last year and Canberra this year, like they both have had a very good ability to come back after being behind. So I don't know if like that's definitely like necessarily a culture that we want to encourage like at trainings. Like we've always encouraged like, no, it's not over till the last buzzer. Like it could always come back. But it is nice towards the end of the game to not be going goal for goal, I will admit, especially as a shooter. But yeah, I mean, towards the end a little bit, we I guess felt like we were pulling away a little bit, but definitely you can't just sit back. I mean, they're Div 1 team for a reason, so yeah.
Who got to hold the cup first?
Probably me and was it Nat and Kate. That we had two coaches, so probably all three of us. We got to live with the cup and got to take it over to the team.
Okay, Carly, I need to ask you this as a follow-up, which I'm pretty sure I asked the same question last year. How good was to hold the cup first before your teammates on run to you? And then the second part of that question was, were you worried that you were going to drop the cup, or were you worried that you were going to get crushed by your teammates?
It was an awesome feeling. I think it's just a big like sigh of relief like seeing the cup and having it in our hands and then turning and looking at all the girls ready to get all the pictures with it. Wasn't worried about dropping it. I'm just worried about I don't want to like stick it up in front of someone's head and then we get the team photo later and someone's been blocked out. So I'm always conscious. I'm like, don't stick it up, just stick it out. That was like my only thing, because you'd hate to be that person where your head's like cut out of the group shot because someone's got the trophy in front of it. That was the only thing going through my mind.
Yeah. Okay. Don't worry. I'll ask the other three the next question in a moment. But Carly, obviously I interviewed your captain, obviously Ash, in the 17s.
Yep.
Obviously she had to hold one cup and obviously try to do the 2 sign, or the peace sign at least. In the team photo. Now you just mentioned about obviously holding the cup as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember who was behind you in the photo, and were you conscious to obviously not block them when you're trying to hoist it up?
Yeah, I didn't even know who was behind me. I think I heard someone say like, don't, I think it was Talia or something. She's like, don't block me out. So I was like, okay. So I held it in front rather than up. I think it's the same when everyone puts their hands up, you just don't want to be that person that's just like completely like blocked someone's face. So yeah, but we're all good. We'll just like get around someone's hands or something. So it's fine.
For the other 3, how good was to hold the cup eventually? And did either you kiss on the cup at any stage? I know the 17s didn't, because I just asked them that question.
I love holding the cup. I feel like at the end, once we've kind of secured it, it feels so good and we all get our pictures, which is a really fun part. Yes, I love kissing the cup, biting our medals. Just happy to have them in our hands again.
Yeah, I think holding the cup at the end, it was just like a surreal moment where we just pass it around. Like none of us can stop holding it. Like it's a crazy thing. And then you just don't want to be stuck with it at the end of it. So it's always a bit of a, oh, I like holding it, but like who's taking it? Who's taking its place?
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same. I would say the same thing as Malia and Amber. Like, it's nice to hold, good to have back for another year, to be honest. So, yeah.
It's also fun to take around to the celebrations after.
Oh. And also when, okay, you all mentioned that, I think all you mentioned that you bite on your medal as well. Was it pure gold on the day? Obviously not now, but on the day.
Well, you guys are wearing them. I didn't think to wear mine. Got it here. I don't know what it is.
I don't know either. It looks gold. It has pink on it, even better.
Yeah.
Did you bite on it on the day, and was it pure gold on the day?
Sure. In my mind, it was.
And how long did all you wear your medals around your necks for, and did any of you sleep with it? Be honest.
Well, we wore it all that night, and then we had some celebrations the next day, so then we wore it then. I didn't sleep with it. I'm not sure if anyone else did.
Yeah, I didn't sleep with it, but I just I took it to my celebrations and then put it on the shelf. So
It's the rest of them. How many do has a lot this year?
I'm gonna ask all 4 of you this question. Now, I asked Phoebe and Ash in the 17s because obviously they won back to back. But so I'm gonna ask all 4 of you this question: which of the premierships that you've won is a little bit more special than the other? Means just a little bit more.
I'll go. I've enjoyed playing with, like, this is probably one of my favorite teams I've ever played for and probably will ever play for. Just because I think we get along so well, and it's not that common to have a team that's genuinely close knit on and off the court. But I think last year, I mean, this year is very special, but last year was probably more so for me just because it was my debut year in like state league, or like in Div 1. So I guess like first year in Div 1 and then winning the grand final and being able to play in that was very, very special for me, and probably an experience I'll never forget. So yeah.
I'll go next. This one was probably my favorite grand final as well. It's shockingly my first season of not being injured. So I actually got to play this season. So I think, like Sophia said, like we're such a tight, close-knit group of girls. So to get this win together was amazing. So yeah, this was my favorite grand final.
I think I'm torn between the two. When I think of last year, I think that was huge because it was our first premiership in a few years. We had a bit of a dry spell, kind of working our way back up into that grand final position. So last year was pretty special that we finally got to do it again. But then I think this year was special that we got to do it back to back, and it was pretty much nearly the whole team as well. So like the girls said, we're building on those connections and that like building that good culture. So it was awesome to like see us all do it last year and then us all do it again this year as well.
I liked this year because I feel like we had a bit of time to prepare. I'll show you a top we got. We had time to kind of make a top that says Grand Final 2024. So we kind of, since we did it last year, we kind of knew what we were in for. So it was exciting to prepare for things like that. So a lot of fun, but the group is just getting along so well. So felt good.
So, what have the four of you learnt from each other on and off the court?
Ooh, that's an interesting one. I guess I said this after the grand final to everyone too. I think what's awesome to see this year is everyone in our team has had just like standout seasons, like playing the best netball, like individually. Like, yes, we've also had a great season as a team because we've come away with a premiership, but it's been so awesome to see everyone put in the work to like refine their individual skills. And I just think everyone just had like amazing seasons, which was like really cool to see. And then obviously get the win as a team just was like the cherry on top. So yeah, I think I've just learned from the team like that hard work and resilience, and then just again coming back to that building the culture and the connections together is definitely gonna help us with success on the court. So yeah, you can go into a game day being like great athletes, but I guess you need to get along with your team members, and we definitely get along sometimes too well.
Going from what Carly said, I feel this year we wanted to kind of hang outside of netball, which I think makes a massive difference. Like we see each other a lot for training, a lot for games, but then on other days we're still like, okay, so should we go for dinner? Which means we're all really enjoying each other's company. It's also another motivation. Like you want to win, not just for you and your club, but the girls that you're kind of doing it with. So that for me is, one of the big things.
Yeah, I think like building off those two as well, that when you have those connections, you get the trust, and then you get that connection where, with the coaches, you're not just a player on the team. Like we're also just a whole bunch of coaches that help each other. I think one of the 17s in Carly's team, one day we were doing a captain's run and we were all training at our max performance, even though no coaches were there, and the 17s were in awe that we could do that without them. So I think it's just that connection where we can hold each other accountable, have fun, but also do the hard work to get each other that win.
Yeah, I think it helped us this season, like everyone said, being so close-knit, like genuinely close-knit, not like coaches having to organize, going out. Like it was us that was, leading, seeing each other outside of netball. And I think that helped us particularly for this season, because obviously Tuggeranong has an expectation to do well. Performing badly is not something that our coaches or any of us would accept. But I think from last season being the premiers and carrying that this year, there's an expectation that we'll do well, not just like hoping in the team chat, oh, we'll, hopefully we do well this game. Like everyone's expecting that. And I think that brings a sort of level of pressure. But, I think that we were able to kind of handle that pretty well and stay close. And like that tension didn't really affect us because we knew each other really well, and we were able to trust each other. So yeah.
Now I believe I can't remember, was it all four or three or four of you were also selected in the Darters team, which you had to play in the ANC competition a couple of weeks later? Am I correct? Yep.
Yeah, all four of us were.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to ask the four of you this question. How quick of a turnaround did you try to celebrate before you had to get back into training and obviously represent your state?
Well, the grand final was on Sunday. We had some celebrating with family and friends. Monday we did a little dress up thing. We all wore blow up costumes, but then that day we all had training. So yeah, straight back into it. But it was kind of good because we were on a high, feeling good physically. So yeah, it was good to come off the back of our lovely win and then do well at Darters as well.
Yeah, like Amber said, it was good. Like we didn't really get a break, which I guess was a good thing. Like a few of the other girls in the Darters team didn't go through finals. Like their teams didn't make finals. So they had a few weeks off that match play and things like that. So for us, it was nice that didn't really stop for us. We just kept kind of carrying it on to that training environment. So it was good.
Yeah, I think our bodies were a bit more prepared for the grind of continuing on than having that break in between. So even though our celebrations were cut short, we still put in the hard work and we still got to celebrate regardless. So yeah.
I also believe you came away with a silver medal at the ANC, which was hosted in Canberra. So I'm going to ask this question now, considering I've just mentioned about what one was more important, what meant a little bit more in your back-to-back or three-peat premiership seasons. So which ones means a little bit more now? Is it winning the premiership or winning the silver medal in the ANC, which is no mean feat?
That's a really tough one. I think it's really tough because I think we did make a big deal out of the fact that we did get a silver medal at a national competition, which is like never really been done here in the ACT. So I think that was super special in that regard. But I still come back to like kind of what we've already said with the premiership here and with Tuggeranong, like we've put in years and years of playing for Tuggeranong, representing Tuggeranong, and playing with like people we're really close with. So being able to do it for Tuggeranong and with this group of people, I think that's really special. Not to say like the group that we're with Darters isn't special at all, but it's just like, I guess the amount of energy, the time we've invested in Tuggeranong, I think it just adds that little extra something to it that, at the end of the day. But silver medal was still pretty huge considering it was like a national competition.
I think it was just disappointing as well that we didn't quite get the gold there. So it was a bit hard. But we did have something to prove in that competition. We wanted to show that ACT deserves to be at that high level. So I think it was really important. And it is great to have a Australian National Championships medal because that's something that ACT kind of struggled to achieve. So that was a good feeling, but gold would have been better than silver.
What makes those three players that I had on the show in your 17s team special, which obviously I asked your assistant coach?
I think they were they were obviously like selected as our leaders. So I think that's special in itself, and that the team looked to them for those leadership qualities, but they were all individually just really, coachable, really inclusive to the teammates. There was like a few, like obviously Ash and Phoebe came back to back this year, but there was a lot of newbies coming in, especially into the state league environment. So I think they really took them under their wing and showed them how it's done. Just something that we really admire in like having those leaders that can kind of lead by example both on and off the court. I think they really did that this year.
So for the other three then, two-part question. And obviously is about your captain on this call, Carly. So what's the one thing you admire about Carly, especially for the fact that she's captain and obviously she coached the 17s as well?
I think for me, like Carly's relationship with me is maybe a little bit different to her relationship with Amber or Malia. Like I have known of about Carly for ages. I've been in Tuggeranong systems since I was really little, but I'm obviously a little bit younger than Carly. And like I've always said that since my debut in Div 1 last year, I didn't really feel like I belonged there, or like I was just really anxious about, because I didn't know really any of the girls. Some of them had coached me previously, but I didn't really know any of them. And I guess sometimes there's an intimidation factor coming into a team where you feel like you have a bit of imposter syndrome. So Carly has always made me feel so welcomed, and like I never felt like if I gave a bad pass or if I missed a shot, like there was ever any anger or, stuff from Carly, which, not saying any teams in particular, but I guess when you look at certain high performance environments, like that is sometimes the case from the captain. Like you almost have to prove yourself. So I never felt that with Carly. And like I think that it's made me a way better player in that she's always made you feel like no matter how many games you played for Div 1 or like no matter how long you've been there for, like everyone is equal. So
I can't talk too much about Carly because I get emotional. But we do actually call her grandma. She's our grandma of the team, being the oldest. So we call her our wise owl. But she is a perfect leader. She's not like a dictator. She stands alongside us. She supports us. She's organized. She's calming, but she can rev us up. She's like the perfect leader, personally, that I think, leadership style. But also just a massive leader for me on and off the court. I saw her going up through school. I saw her at Tuggeranong. So yeah, she's always been around and just a huge leader in, I guess, the South Side area at school and netball and everything else.
Yeah, I think Emma said that perfectly. Like Carly is one of a kind captain. Like I'm pretty sure all my years at Tuggeranong, Carly has been my captain, or at least like vice captain, and like she's just speechless. She's just like, she can rev us up. She's that person on court who, you can look to advice, or she knows what's happening. She's just, yeah, it's hard to describe Carly because she's that good of a leader. So, yeah, she's left us speechless.
Yeah. So I'm going to finish. So I didn't want to embarrass you there, Carly, but I had to ask that question. So I have to finish with a couple lighthearted questions about the team, which is who's the comedian, the best singer, and the best dancer on the team?
I would say best dancer, only because she loves to dance and do a TikTok dance, is probably Poppy. She loves to, or Talia. They both love a good TikTok dance. So I wouldn't say they're the best dancers, but they're the most likely to want to dance.
I'm going to say funniest or comedian or always just lifting up the vibes is one of our men's training partners, Denzel Costa. He just hilarious. Always makes me laugh. So I'd say he's a comedian.
And I reckon our best singer, based on some karaoke nights we've had, would be Sophie Imnan. She surprises us with her singing. Like we're all just like there, singing, but she's actually a good singer. So I'd give it to her.
I don't know. I feel like those were good answers. Yeah, I would say the same thing. Oh yeah, funniest for me is probably tied with like Dens and Poppy. Like they're both hilarious and they're also like really funny together. So team dinners and stuff. Like,
can I add one? It's Kendall Jenner. We have a Kendall Jenner of the team, and that's Sophia. When she gets her goal in, she pouts.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know. We got some of the photos back from grand final day. Yeah, I don't notice that I do it, so I get really embarrassed when they point it out. But yeah,
pretty.
Oh, sorry, Sophia. I need to ask you this as a follow-up to that response from Amber. Is it just self-conscious that you do that?
What do you mean self-conscious?
That you do that sort of thing?
Oh yeah, like I don't know. I've heard a lot of things I do about my goal. Like apparently I strut away. I don't know. So you do feel good after you get a goal, but sometimes I look at photos and I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't notice that I do it though. Sometimes I'm like, there was a photo that I got back after grand final day and I was like behind the goalkeeper and I was trying to like look at like where the ball was, but if a camera's there, like obviously you want to look nice, so if I see a camera pointed on the sidelines, like I'm not trying to be caught lacking, so
Oh, now do either of you have a pre-game superstition or ritual?
I think tunes on the way to netball are the main ritual I have. In our team, we started doing Friday Forgotten Bangers. So because our games are on a Friday, I think the pressure of actually choosing good songs to be on the playlist got a bit much, but I think that ritual for our team was a big key in our performance and our warm-up. So that was a fun ritual we all did.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lolly tub as well. Like we had this massive tub, like massive, and we would bring, like each of us would bring our own favorite lollies like every few weeks and put it in the lolly tub. And yeah, Ash Sensor would carry it around in her car and bring it to trainings and like games and stuff. But it got a bit grubby after a while because I'm definitely responsible for sifting through for my favorite lolly, so my bad, but yeah.
We went through those lollies way too quickly. We had to top up that big tub probably like 3 times throughout the season. Yeah.
Sophia, sorry, I'm going to ask you this question you just mentioned. What's your favorite lolly that you're trying to pick out of that lolly thing?
Oh, I've discovered them. I'm pretty sure it was this year actually, like from the lolly tub I was trying them, because I've never really had a favorite lolly before. I like normally would do a combination of like an orange and a yellow snake and eat it like together, but the lifesaver sticks and the raspberry flavor, they're my favorite lolly. Like I keep a bag in my car actually. And so oh yeah, and there was the massive Skittles as well, and like I would like the certain flavors, and so I dig through for my favorite color Skittle as well. So I got a few complaints actually about digging through with a grubby finger, but yeah, sorry.
Like that was me being like, so
yeah.
You can't, if you touch it, you gotta take it.
Yeah. My bad, guys. Sorry.
I think I know what I'm gonna get you when I come up to Canberra next year to your games. So I'll make sure I get you like a really special stash of lollies for you, so you can just have it. So, any embarrassing moments by anyone on the team this year?
Oh, Poppy's gonna kill me. But Poppy, I actually can't remember if this was at training or at a game. I'm like, no, this was definitely at a game. She was on at goal shooter and fell and then like tried to get up and slipped on her own sweat. So unfortunately we had to hang that over Poppy for a couple of weeks, because she's actually the first person to yell out when someone does something embarrassing. So yeah, that's probably mine that I remember.
I think there was one time Ash Sensor was like going out of court and then just like flopped like a pancake in this big leg split. We used to kind of we do an award at the end. I forgot what it was called. What do we call it? This silly award. Yeah, well, we gave it to those guys after those incidents.
Yeah, I can't think of anything specific. There's plenty of moments, but nothing's coming to mind at the moment.
You definitely get like a lot of Falcons in the games. But yeah, not that are memorable to the day.
Okay, last one. Now, obviously, how was the celebrations like after the game, considering your game was a weekend?
Yeah, so ours is a Sunday afternoon. think it was a little bit earlier this year than last year, which was nice. We actually had a little bit more time to celebrate afterwards rather than going straight into dinner. But yeah, we just went for some drinks and dinner with like family and supporters, which was nice. And then I think family and supporters all left and we kept going for a little bit longer. And then like Amber said, the next day we had like a get together with the team again and all wore big blow up costumes and had fun together. So yeah, that was fun.
We also did a race in our blow-up costume. Yeah. And it was funny because there were dinosaurs, there were pigs, aliens, astronauts. Yeah, it was fun.
Sorry, I need to ask this as a follow-up. Who won the race?
Well, we did a relay. So not one person, half the team.
I was on the losing team. I remember that.
Yeah, Carly had like a donkey and a cowboy and her thing was shaking from side.
It was hard. It's hard to run in there. It holds you down.
Oh, love it. Well, all for you. Thank you so much for giving us some of your time to join us. Congratulations on winning another premiership down there to the amazing south of Canberra, and well done. And can't wait to come up to Canberra next year. I promise, Carly. I know I mentioned this last year, and I haven't come this year, but I will make sure I come up next year in 2025 to watch my favourite netball team up there in Canberra in Tuggeranong, and hopefully you can do it again in 2025, and I can't wait to meet all of you up there in person this time.
Yeah, thank you. We'll get the 3-peat next year.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you. You've really asked some funny questions, so yeah.
Thank you.
No worries, and that's the Tuggeranong Division 1 champions of course, the Canberra State League competition, of course, winning back-to-back with their 17s as well in season 2024, hoping for a 3-peat in 2025. There's more on the Smash Sport Show right after this. Don't go away here on the 10th year celebration.